You are listening to the Parkflyer Podcast, where we discuss our RC adventures.
Welcome to the Parkflyer Podcast, where we discuss the ups and downs of the new RC Flyer. Join your hosts, Michael and Jay, as they take flight at the park. Now on with the show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Parkflyer Podcast. I'm Michael from Arizona. With me always, my good friend
Shannon G and Mesa AZ.
And we are happy to have you once again. Thank you very much for joining us on this podcast episode. The episode that we had last time, we had Gary from G. Willikers Aero Accessories. And so this, once again, I told him that we would give him a promotion there. So this episode is brought to you by G. Willikers Aero Accessories. They got me some really nice product, and we enjoy having them. We appreciate their support. And thanks for the comments on the people that are out there that have purchased product and gave us a thumbs up, said, yeah, they really like dealing with them. So we appreciate Gary's time.
Couldn't have come up with a better name. Gee Willikers.
I know, right?
I got some great RC airplane stuff. That's so what awesome. I think. Yeah.
Well, it was funny because Scott had set us up with Gary, and Scott had called me afterwards, and he was like, "Hey, how'd the podcast go?" And I was like, "Yeah, great." I said, "How do you think he got the name G. Willikers?" He was like, "I don't know. I was thinking about that." I was like, "Yeah, it's Gary, and his kid's name is Will." He's like, "Oh, that's ingenious." I was like, "Yes, it is actually." I go, "I wish I would have thought of that."
Yeah, really.
But it was really good. But we definitely appreciate his support. And yes, if you haven't had a chance to hear our last episode, go back and listen to it or watch it. And then, go over to gwillikers aeroaccessories.com, and they've got a bunch of great products there. So, which brings us to the point that some of the items that he builds are the foam cradles, and that kind of falls into you going to Big Jolt. I think that's coming up. But before that, you have some great news about Parkflyer Plastics.
Yeah, so Parkflyer Plastics, long-time supplier to the hobby of custom cowls and canopies and short kits and all kinds of cool stuff. They had said, I think earlier in the year or late last year, that they were going to be closing up. But it looks like somebody is getting all the tooling, and they're going to keep going. So very nice. Looks like RC Kits is going to be the new home of Parkflyer Plastics, and I don't know if they're up and running yet, but just glad to see that it's not all doom and gloom. When it comes to, we've heard people, this shop's closing, that shop's closing, this manufacturer's closing. To see that somebody says, "Hey, I bet we can save this and keep it going," because I know I've spent a lot of money there, and I just, when they said they closed, I just rushed and put an order in. And,
you bought the remaining
inventory. Pretty much, I need to get that because I've got. So I have a lot of the older fly hobby Top Gun 90mm jets, and they had great replacement canopies for those. And there's no place else to get them. So
it's true.
And I've had really weird luck with that. I had the Bayhawk, among others, but the Bayhawk, I just put a brand new this is years ago. I just put a brand new canopy on it. I'd done the lines on it. The little frame on the top that comes across. Done all this, and I am not kidding. I was in the taxiway at an event, and the guy that came into land right after me literally ran into me and busted the canopy. And I didn't have an extra one, and so I was just like, and he had it's like that scene in Austin Powers where it's like the steamroller.
Yeah.
No, I mean he had miles to stop this plane. And he just went. It's almost like he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna hit the guy at the end of the runway because I want to."
Right. I can't. I want to do it because I can. That's right.
Exactly. Yeah. And then he gave me attitude like, "Why were you in my way?" I'm like, "Well, in your way."
Right. You had
the whole runway.
300 feet of runway to stop, and you run into me on the taxiway.
Yeah. So
no, sometimes that happens. You got some more good news. Your field just got some new items as well.
Yes, so we just completed our flight box replacement. Those of you who've been into our field or seen the videos, it was about a foot and a half, maybe 2 feet tall. Yeah. We used the orange kind of snow fencing, but over the years it's been just we kept replacing the fencing or we'd patch it.
Sure.
But then the poles started to bend and the footings were wearing away, and we said, "Hey, we got to fix something." So what we did is we got all I forget who it was, but we got a really good fence company came in, put new footings in, a little thicker pole, and we went to 3 feet which is nice because I tripped over the old one,
Mhm.
in the dark, and that was a whole nother story. But we so they put that up, and then a bunch of the club members, we put the actual fencing, and we went with the green. It's similar stuff, but it's supposedly a little higher quality, a little better for UV resistance. But they came out great, and we love it. And I think when we have events going forward, it'll be another highlight.
Yeah.
That, we're safer, I think, because the fence isn't going to come apart, and it just looks much nicer. It's a little subtle, like the orange was like kind of angry almost. Yeah. Now this is like, it's just kind of calm the field down a little bit. Kind of said that. So.
See, I thought about it differently. I thought the orange was like a danger zone, right? Don't go out there, and the green is kind of more inviting. So I don't know, and I guess it just depends on which side of it you're standing on. Because the picture I saw was from the other side. I was just like, oh look, everybody's standing behind the green fence. No, it looks really good though, and the only thing I'm going to be sad is I can't reach over it and pick up my airplanes, because that was one of the things I could do at your
Yeah,
club.
I mean, that was kind of it was good that it was low for some things, but then like I said, I tripped over one, and it was like, okay, we got to replace this stuff.
Yeah.
But
that is funny.
Big shout out. We had a bunch of our club volunteers came out and helped us put the fence together. We actually we didn't order enough of the fence material we didn't, because we're like, okay, well, we'll get this. We think it's going to cover all of it, but then we started doing it. It's like, oh, we need a little more, and so we had to wait a couple days. But overall, just totally worth the wait, and we're getting real close to getting the field. It's always kind of an ongoing process, which with your field, you've had your changes. You had your roof issues. We had our roof issues.
Sure.
But we've got our powers straightened out. We actually got a third generator. We have more as like a backup to kind of cycle through them.
Oh yeah.
So, or if we need an extra one for vendors or something. So
very nice.
So we kind of did that, and then we're still getting quotes on the runway. So, for years we were told, oh well, we got to replace the runway.
Right.
But then someone came out and said, well, not really. You've got cracks and stuff, but it's still good.
Right. Yeah.
So we're looking at some different things, getting some quotes, and we might not do it this year because we already spent a lot of money this year. But it's something that the club's definitely, got on the horizon. We still have a great runway, but just time and our harsh, between the rain and the heat and the rain and the heat.
Yeah, sure.
Just destroys it. And pavement is, if you don't know, is designed. Driving on it kind of helps preserve it,
compact it. Yeah,
and our planes, we don't do that. So it just cracks.
Yeah, it just kind of gets cavernous in there sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it was funny the other day. I came in my shop. I was messing around with something or another, and I got an update on my VR goggles. Right, I have a set of VR goggles, and I started messing around with it, and I actually went to Real Flight because I remembered that Jim had told me that they can do VR on Real Flight, and flew virtual reality at Superstition Field.
Okay, awesome.
So it was kind of fun. It was a little bit less than realism because it is VR, but everything was out there and it was kind of fun. I flew a bunch of different airplanes, some big airplanes, small airplanes. Having my little erratics, I was flying around in there, and it's just kind of weird to be able to look around. They did a really good job mapping it because I turned around and looked at the parking lot, and I was just like, hey. So I actually flew through, underneath the awnings and everything and out into the parking lot.
Oh, so that was you.
That was me. But it was pretty funny. It's on Steam, and that I have the one that's the Steam version, and it was really fun. Which was the whole purpose of me getting the VR goggles, because when people come over and they start seeing all the RC stuff, they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is great!" And it was my desire to be able to say, "Hey, you want to fly one? Here, just put these on. Here's the controller." And anyway, I got it all to work, and it worked fairly well. When you got out a little ways, it became a speck, and then you couldn't really see it as well as you could, in real life. But if you could fly,
it really good. So I don't know.
Yeah, if you could fly close, that's true. If you can fly close or a bigger airplane, it looked fine. But it was fun, and it was a great time. So I had to tell you that. In some other news, my AK Mike is down in Dallas, and he just sent me a note that said his club and the club that's down the road from them. So there's two clubs that he's kind of in between the two, but he kind of prefers one. And he said they just got their 700-foot waiver. So congratulations to them. I know there's some people over in his neck of the woods that listen to us. So if you're a member of that club, then congratulations. I know it takes a little bit to put the paperwork in, but when they approve it, it's always great to have a higher altitude to fly. So
yeah, it's great because for a while there, it's like, oh, you guys are the bad guys, and now it's kind of like, well, you guys really aren't. You stay within your area, and as long as we all know where that area is, we're good. So that's kind of what it should be.
That's the way it should be.
Been that way for 80 years. So
yeah, that's true. We haven't had too many problems since then, but yeah. No, I think the powers that be are getting a little worried, especially in light of all the Jay is still on the road. He's hopefully closing on a new home here soon, and he'll join us again when he gets unpacked. But he's been sending me some footage of some drone activity on the other side of the world that's a very disconcerting. They're using them for military operations, and to watch it happen and to get all the videos that he's been sending me, I'm kind of like, this can't be good for us.
Yeah.
These guys are getting real good at, blowing stuff up and getting into little places where they shouldn't be. But I didn't realize, but I guess they have fiber optic lines that run, and that's what runs the drones, like a security line, and it runs along these fiber optics. So interesting technology. I'm not into the 4 quadcopters or the multi-copters or whatever, but it is interesting to see what they're doing with them. And I just hope that, we don't pull the panic button and then just go, all right, no more. I got a lot of money tied up in this.
Yeah. That's, I say that's probably one of my biggest fears is just like if they ever just said, oh, the RC hobby's done. You can't do it. Yeah. Be like, well, I'm going to have like, either fill up a big dumpster, or it's going to be like, fill in the trash can for months.
Well, maybe we'll switch to indoor, where we can build an indoor area and just go fly in the indoors, because that doesn't seem to be as bad. But and I've done that before. So, well, anyway, moving on, we are excited that you're coming up on Big Jolt. I believe this is the pre-Big Jolt, because you're not quite there yet, but you are headed out. And tell us a little bit about what you got going on and what's happening.
So we're heading off to the Big Jolt Electric RC event over at the Pomona Valley Model Airplane Club in just around Chino. Prado Park is where it's actually at. Real nice area, real nice field, real good group. We've been there before, and me and a couple of my buddies, Craig and Matt, who you'll hear from a little later, are going to join me. And Friday is kind of like just an open fly, fun, have a good time. But Saturday is more of a fun fly with scheduled, events like runway slalom, which I
very
competed
cool.
in last time. That was kind of fun. Yeah. And
that's where you drive your airplane around.
Yeah. That was fun. And then I think you should do like a limbo contest or a spot landing. So
that's pretty cool.
All this, there'll be regular flying too, but they've got raffle. They got good food out there, and for me, the best thing, getting to see a lot of our old RC buddies. So Harry is going to come out on Friday. Right. I messaged him, and my good buddy Eddie that makes all of my awesome shirts for my events, and he's going to be out there on Friday. So there's a scale competition on Saturday and Sunday, so that's going to cut into some of the guys coming out for that.
Right.
But I think Friday definitely will have a good time. Saturday, and then Sunday, we're probably going to go to the March Air Force Base Museum. That real airplanes.
So, absolutely.
We've been to Chino a bunch of times, and also at Chino there's a Yanks Air Museum. Another one that's really nice. They're closed on Sunday and Monday, so that kind of gets that. Makes it not possible to go to that one because we're not going to be there Sunday or Monday. But we haven't been to March. At least I haven't been to March for a while, and I think Matt said he hadn't been. I swore we went together, but sometimes you don't know who you went with. But we always try to squeeze in some real airplane stuff.
Sure,
especially when we're over there because there's so many great museums, and if not that, Palm Springs is also the other kind of go-to one. We love that museum, which is just basically Chino Part 2.
Part 2, yeah, exactly.
Same organization.
Well, unfortunately, I'm not able to attend. I'm doing some real airplane stuff myself in the form of work, but we are excited that you're able to get out there. We're going to try something new on this episode because this is kind of we're recording this just prior to you leaving, and then we're going to go ahead and meet you at the field, and you're going to record from the field. So we're excited about that.
Got some new tech for that even.
Some new technology. We're slowly trying to get with the program here, I think. But having said all that, how about we jump out and see how Big Jolt is doing?
See you soon.
All right.
All right, it's Shannon from Parkflyer Podcast, and I just left the studio and ran all the way out here to California for Big Jolt, and I'm joined by my good friends Craig Bollybrook and Matthew Webb. Craig and I, we used to work together, right?
Yep. Yes, for 5 years or so.
Yeah, and I think one day you had picked up an RC car someplace, and we
I
started
think I
talking.
picked up a Losi Micro from the local hobby.
Yeah, it was going out of business, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And so from
and
there,
you said, "Oh, it's going out of business.
Yeah.
Let's go there tomorrow."
It was crazy, and we got a little airplane, and we started flying that
in the parking lot at lunchtime.
Yeah, and then we went bigger and bigger, and joined the club.
Right.
And here we are today. This is what, our third Big Jolt, I think?
It'll be the third Big Jolt. I think it's third time flying at this field. I want to say one of them was a Warbirds show.
Yeah.
A great facility, by the way.
Here. Yeah, this is the Pomona Valley Model Airplane Club.
Yeah.
Very nice one.
Yes.
And then Matt, you joined us at the GQF, the Gilbert Quiet Flyers. We were members there, and you came out and you've been flying. You and your brother flew, right?
I started flying with my dad when I was pretty young. Then got married, had kids, and all that stuff. So the fun went away, and moved out to Arizona. And when you guys were at the rodeo grounds,
yeah,
I lived in the golf course just up the street there. So when I'm driving back and forth to work on Val Vista, I would see these planes flying. I'm thinking, who the heck's flying airplanes here in the middle of the city? And so one thing led to another, and I think I found a posting for you guys over on Craigslist of all places, and went out to the second field, and that's where I met you guys and started losing a lot of money crashing planes. So, but yeah, it's been great ever since, man. Getting to come out here to California and see the different fields and just meet some really great people and see just some amazing planes. We were just walking the line a minute ago, and holy cow, just some of the stuff we got to see is just great. So, yeah, it's just love the hobby. The people, the whole
great.
Yard, just a ton of fun.
Yeah, so walking the line, yesterday we were out here. It was kind of slow, but it was nice because we could fly. It was a little breezy, right? Flyable. We had a good time. Yeah. I think was there some crashes yesterday?
Yeah, we had some disassembly events that happened.
Yeah,
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, our good friend Harry. He's not here with us today, but he had his Viper, and it went in, and there was somebody else flying it for him. And then what was even funnier is the same guy went up again with his own Viper, and he crashed
2 minutes later.
2 minutes later. Crazy. So it was kind of a Viper sacrifice for the weekend.
The
I think.
Viper Massacre of 2025.
Yeah.
All in all, I think about 5 planes crashed yesterday, and there was only about 30 of us flying. So it was an interesting day, to be said.
What's been your favorite plane you've seen out here, you think?
Well, so far there's a Carf P-39 showed up, and he's doing a beautiful job. This gentleman also has a Black Horse, or was it a Black Horse Zero?
Yeah. That
is immaculately done with scale effort and everything. It's really beautiful. There's a lot of really cool planes. There's a guy who built a scratch-built Mooney, a little 30, maybe 32-inch Mooney that looks awesome in the air. It flies cool too.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of, and there goes something now. Hear that.
Oh, and that's why we point the camera towards the runway so we can possibly catch incidents and planes going in and out. So hopefully, I don't know if we caught that or not, but
it's right behind us, so that happened right in view.
Yep. That's the miracle of live. So.
And here, Matt, what do you think, Matt? What kind of planes do you enjoy?
I gotta say, because I grew up, my grandfather was in aviation, so I soloed in a sailplane when I was 15.
Oh wow, okay.
So I've always had a passion for sailplanes, and I gotta say that quarter scale. I don't know what the model is, but
is it quarter scale or half scale? I think it's huge.
It might be half scale.
Yeah, it's a powered one.
Just watching that thing fly, and seeing them trying to get it out to the runway with the gates here was pretty impressive.
Yeah, and he has to actually hold it on the runway until it gets moving because it'll wing will tip over. But it's pretty darn cool.
And I think we all got to agree that SR-71 painted up in the FedEx.
Yeah,
that the gentleman was at.
Victor's friend of the show.
Yeah. So now we expect our FedEx packages to be here yesterday when we ordered them. So.
Yeah, I ordered some batteries, and he said they were supposed to be here today, but we didn't quite get there. Some of the other cool stuff I've seen, we actually right next to us we have this really cool free wing AL-37.
The Alaskan Salmon paint scheme. It's a very cool fish-looking salmon-y I think it's a A380.
It's a 737.
737 or 380, 320.
No,
but it's a beautiful job.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. And then Brent Heck's out here. He's got his custom scratch-built YF-17, which is really cool. I've seen that thing fly a few times, but just love seeing it. And the fact that he built it from scratch and it's just totally custom. We love seeing that stuff. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, you got a bunch of T-28s. Got some interesting paint schemes on the T-28s.
Got some interesting, creativity. Yep. I give credit for creativity. So, just a really good showing today. I wasn't expecting this big of a crowd because, like you said yesterday, it was kind of slow.
And we just had the Bronco go up. That's a cool.
We got a huge Bronco out here from Hangar 9, and then we got more Horizon.
Is there 3 now? Oh wow! Okay.
Wow.
I did not see that.
3 of them out here.
Yeah.
Nice.
Really cool plane.
Yeah. That's half the fun of these events is it's an air show and a museum, and you get to go fly in it at the same time.
And crash, crash here and there for a little excitement. But as long as it's not ours,
right?
Knock on wood or something. Yeah. But
I'm not flying anymore today.
Oh come on! No, you guys just went up with your A10s. That was nice fun.
Yeah,
I love when we can all fly together and get out there. So I'm trying to think what else caught my eye out there.
Did you see the there's a couple of composite bandits, and is that Avanti?
Oh yeah, that's right. Those big jets that are composite, and everything here is EDF. That's what the big. If we didn't clarify that, this is EDF. It's just cool to see the larger jets that are usually turbines, and they're actually just getting one either taken off or landing, getting ready to go.
Oh yeah, right behind us.
A lot of times people kind of say, "Oh, you can't get much flight time out of them and whatnot," but I think for the excitement you get for the 3 or 4 minutes with them, it's enough for me at least. Then I can just charge them some batteries and go again.
So you're ready to land at 4 minutes.
Most
when
people
it comes to a fast
there's
jet.
There's people that are like, I want to fly longer. But, And we got a nice Airbnb that Matt booked for us. It's a really cool place, really cool people. So it's just so much fun to be able to come out and hang out with our friends. We saw Eddie yesterday, and we saw Harry, Steve, just running into people people we've run into events before. How many times do we see the same guys 10 years and we remember each other? That's the cool thing.
The camaraderie is amazing.
Yes.
Between the RC pilots, and especially, we're from Phoenix, but we basically know all the people out here from LA. They come to our events there, and we've been out here a few times. Shannon and I have been to probably maybe 10 events out here in California together. Shannon taught me how to fly about 25 years ago. So ever since then, we've been going to California once or twice a year, at least, to play with our friends. That being said, one of the cooler ones we ever did was at SeaWorld Park.
Yes.
Field.
So
we haven't been able to go there in a long time.
And we used to go there for a big event, and they had back in the day, GWS, they had a big display and were selling their stuff cheap. A bunch of the manufacturers would come out, and it was really, what's funny is we were fairly new to the hobby, at least our resurgence in the hobby. It was really windy because you're right by the water.
Incredibly windy.
It was incredibly windy, and we were like, we got to fly. If we crash something, great. If not, and I think that kind of cured our idea of, we can't fly when it's really windy because, it's a little breezy here. This is nothing compared to what San Diego was.
Yeah, this is nothing.
But it was just so cool to be there on the beach.
They have a really great field. You guys are lucky there in San Diego.
Yes, you are. It's still there.
It's a really cool spot.
They just don't have any events anymore there, but it's still a cool place to be. So, and I'm trying to think what else. There's so many cool planes. I just walking down the line through here. One of the guys I've got the Sukhoi Su-30, and the other guy's got it. He's got it all scaled out and weathered. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take some pictures of that and go home and kind of get a little, little something closer to that, because that's what I've been looking to do is really weather it. So, how about you? What's some other stuff you saw?
I'd say just so many cool planes, but one of the things that really kind of caught me off guard is the giant T-28. Just how many of them are out here?
Oh yeah, there's
especially since they re-released it, and
7 or 8.
Yeah,
at least.
yeah. So, and it's really cool to see such a popular plane like that. I mean, I'm kind of wanting to go get one right now. But
yeah, well, they're such a great plane to fly and easy to customize. Like I put different decals on mine. This other one's got
we got the custom
one,
yep.
And then even the old school, the yellow, the red and orange, or red and white one. That one's kind of cool. But I mean, I've seen camo ones. It's such an easy plane to fly and just customize that. I highly recommend them.
Yeah, and there's a I did get a chance to talk with a gentleman. It's a very odd looking older plane, but it's all electric. It's kind of got the cockpit way on the back of the box fuselage. He's got Argo written on the side of it. So I see a lot of older, people are getting into the older airplanes and really enjoying those and customizing them and converting them over, and it's nice to see those planes like that start flying again.
Yeah, and there's some little planes we got behind us.
Yeah,
that they're like the Gillows type airplanes, and because they were, somebody built them and gave them to him, but because of the quality and that old scale look, he just cleared them. They put like a clear film over them so you can see the wood and see the work. Yeah. And I think that's really cool to do stuff like that when you can. But,
yeah, so just a great variety of different. You got the foamies, you got the balsas, you got the jets, and you got the old timies and the brand new shiny stuff, and so it's like I said, it's like an air show in a museum that you get to fly in.
Yeah, and we get just
a really good time.
Cool. We're not too far from Chino, so occasionally we'll see a warbird fly by or a cool, even a cool civilian aircraft. But,
what was it? An L-39 that buzzed us yesterday.
Yep. And there was a warbird. We couldn't tell what it was, but it had that round radial engine sound. So
I like to think it was a Mustang.
Probably was. We'll see. It was a Mustang.
I am a self-proclaimed Mustang maniac.
That's why my good friend Eddie's got one for sale for you.
Or 10 of them. Thank you, Eddie.
We got room in the trailer for that P-51 now. So
I'm sure we all come away from here with another plane we want to go buy too. Right now, I want to go buy one of those little racer P-51s. I really like those things, and we don't have them in stock at our hobby shops in Arizona. I was told locally that they have them in stock here. Pegasus. Right. And so, which is one of the cool hobby shops. If you ever make it to Los Angeles, go to Pegasus Hobby. It's fabulous.
The other cool thing, so I got to try out one of the G. Willikers plane stands for my T-28, and I am so thrilled with how that hauled, kept my airplane in the trailer, and just easy to maneuver around. So we're really excited. Thanks for joining us a couple weeks ago, Gary, and it was just a great product you got there. I'm telling you, if you go for the smaller EDFs, you're gonna sell a ton of those. So take that bigger BVM jet one you got, scale it down a little bit for the free wings and the FMS jets, and you'll sell a ton of them. So
I'll take a couple.
We got a couple here sold, so let's talk. But well, we're getting close on time here, and I just want to thank Craig and Matt for joining me today. And Craig drove, Matt provided the trailer, and I just provide a little bit of entertainment, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He provides lots of entertainment.
I bought you dinner last night. Yeah, so good. That was a nice thing I did. So, but we're gonna quickly rejoin Mike back in the studio. But from here at Big Jolt, I'm Shannon.
He's Craig, and I'm Matt.
Craig.
All right, and we will see you next time.
Perfect. Well, welcome back to the studio. That was awesome that you were That's a quick jump.
I just got back.
I know, right? Just got back.
My arms are tired.
Your arms are tired from flying? I hear you.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate all the effort that you put in to record all that, and Matt and Craig both. And we appreciate them. And it looks like you had a great time. So having said all of that, we appreciate it. And from here in Arizona, I'm Michael.
And Shannon G.
In Mesa, Arizona.
Amazing. Okay, you said Arizona. All right. Shannon
Actually,
G.
it would be
Mesa,
Santa G in a Big Jolt, but now you're
Big
back
Jolt
in Asia. There you go. Anyway, we would love to have you subscribe to us, give us a like, give us a thumbs up, and join our Facebook page. If you have any comments or questions, put it on our YouTube page as well. And for now, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Let's fly.
You have been listening to the Parkflyer Podcast. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to your next visit. Please give our show a star rating and review, and feel free to email us your questions, topics, or suggestions to parkflyerpodcast@gmail.com.